Welcome to Brain. Bros rightfully augmenting intelligent newscasting. Brain. Dave, what are we going to talk about today?
All right, today we're going to be talking about Linux's Agentic foundation and standards that they're rolling out, AI adoption in corporations and larger organizations, and why maybe that's going a little slower than people anticipated. Google AI summaries are ruining grandma's secret recipes, and what happens when you take 1,000 agents and make them cohabitate inside of Minecraft world.
Nice. Here we go.
It's brain. Brain.
I'm going to keep that.
I want to thank today's sponsor, GenerosityX. GenerosityX partners with charities to increase their annual giving revenue through optimization and innovation. Check out generosityx.com to find out how they can help you improve your fundraising revenue.
Thank you, GenerosityX. Woo. Amazing. There's so much to talk about.
There is.
I have a lot.
Good. Where do you want to start?
No, I'll let you start.
Okay, Linux Foundation launches Agentic AI Foundation, the AAIF. So they've officially launched a foundation to help come up with standards for the ways that agents interact and connect. It's interesting. There's been a lot of talk last week about how the U.S. The executive office policies are affecting AI businesses across different states, and how they're trying to have not 50 different standards or sets of requirements for startups to try to
rule one.
Yeah, and it's actually it is a much more common problem in the U.S. than it is in Canada because of the way that the government works. The laws are decided closer to the people that it affects.
For sure.
But that can cause issues when you're trying to make a globally interconnected system. So it's interesting that it takes a corporation like Linux to bring people together, to work together and establish a standard. And that's kind of telling you like how we work. It's like, don't tell me what I have to do.
Yeah.
But if you invite me to something, I'll gladly participate.
It's so funny. And they've been obviously doing that for years now. So they are a good leader in the common standards space.
Yeah.
In software.
Yeah. And I think they've done so much just for this community over the last many decades.
For sure.
That it's kind of a safe space for these partners to come together. And so Platinum founding partners include Amazon Web Services, Anthropic, Block, Bloomberg, Cloudflare, Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI. They've all contributed pieces here and there. They've kind of given up something that they've developed in order to help to establish this foundation. So Model Context Protocol, or MCPs, originally developed by Anthropic. That standard has been given to the Linux Foundation.
Interesting.
Goose, which is an open source local first agent framework, which was contributed by Block, and then AgentsMD, donated by OpenAI. So there's a whole bunch of really interesting kind of standard foundational I don't know the word here.
Yeah, I guess they would be frameworks.
Yeah,
or
frameworks.
Tool sets?
Frameworks and tool sets.
Yeah.
Good terms. Yeah. So they've been kind of donated as part of their dues and their contribution to the foundation. I think that's super cool. You can read more about it on linuxfoundation.org. But yeah, it makes a really good neutral home for core agentic AI standards to live.
Yeah, it's going to be. Oh gosh, I mean, I'm just thinking about how many different ways I've been using AI at home to build prototypes and software and different ideas and stuff. And it's relatively easy to go down a path where you're building something that's totally novel and you wonder, will it ever work with anything else that other people are building? It's very, you know what I mean? When you have full creative control, sometimes you build things and you're like, I don't know that this will play well with anything else in any other system. So basing what you're building on standards helps obviously not just your tools grow or at least be sustainable, but it also helps if you ever want to sell your business, or you ever want you want to make sure that you play nicely in the field.
Yeah,
You know what
and
I mean?
it's interesting that it comes at a time when agents are not playing nicely together, with Amazon suing Perplexity, and there's a lot of people suing a lot of people because their agents are getting in the way of other agents.
For sure.
So it's nice to see that there's some collaboration happening.
Yeah. And then we have recipe writers fighting the big bad Google. There's this article that I just read about, this came out yesterday, that Google AI summaries are ruining the livelihoods of recipe writers. You know, when you're in the kitchen and you're like, I really want to make this butternut squash soup. You know?
Yeah.
I really want this right now, but I don't have the recipe, and it's not a family recipe that we know. So you go on Google and you get your recipe. You generally, in for the last, 10 years, you've landed on someone's blog that they wrote a backstory. They didn't just write their recipe. They've ingested all of their life experiences and making you ingest all of their life experiences,
or at least scroll past it.
Yeah,
right. So you want to make dinner rolls, and they tell you about the first time they ate bread,
or
in Tuscany.
The invention of the dinner roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when was squash first used in soup? I don't know, but this is how my grandma made it. You know. And but what happens is, in that blog post, there generally is a whole bunch of AdSense. So the same company that was feeding these recipe makers their revenues is now creating this AI summary. When you're looking for a recipe, those AI summaries create the recipe right there. They basically aggregate or take one recipe that it's found in a web search and make it so that it's right at the top of your Google search results. So there's this big hoopla about these recipe writers losing revenue because of those AI summaries. So I have a personal experience with this. So one of my co-founders of one of my businesses started a company called Recipeasly with one of his friends who works at Buffer. So he worked at Shopify. This other guy worked at Buffer. They built this tool and they launched it. It was a AI recipe generator, and you could get all your ingredients from Instacart immediately. So you would say, I want to make eggs Benedict, and it would give you a recipe. It would walk you through the recipe without any ads. And if you wanted to get that list of recipe or of ingredients, you would just automatically buy it from Instacart and have it delivered to your home. So it was like this magical thing. They released it, and the day they released it, or the day after they released it on Twitter, there was a huge firestorm from bloggers, recipe bloggers around the world. They're like their own lobbying group that basically said, you guys are going to destroy our livelihoods.
Yeah.
So this is my second encounter with the fury of recipe bloggers.
Wow.
I do not mess with a recipe blogger.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Wow. So if people want to get their recipe-ness fixed, they should maybe use the summaries. They should. What do you recommend?
I recommend just doing what you would do, which is search for the thing and wherever the information.
Have you found that the summaries are as good as an original recipe? Are they just ripping it straight out, or are they trying to patch together a whole bunch of them into something that works?
I think they do find a core winning recipe and they use that and they show it. From my understanding, there's a source when you're actually doing the AI summary. It's not that they're taking away the click to the website, but they aren't necessarily aggregating all recipes into a model that then generates a new recipe. I don't believe.
We should try asking it to put some really weird ingredients together, things that don't belong. We should do a cooking episode.
We'll do a cooking episode.
We come up with some really weird stuff using AI.
Dude, and
see what we come up with.
I love to cook. That would be really fun. I really do.
I didn't know that about you.
You didn't?
No.
No, well, it's because you
Aren't interested in your personal life.
Exactly.
So speaking of building custom applications, Google's Opal, which is their vibe coding app, is now, well, the news was that it's more integrated with Gemini. And I discovered what that means is that on the left pane below new chat, above your history, there's a button that says gems, which is what they call your little applets that you make with Opal. And if you go and click there, integration is kind of like a very
loose term.
Yeah. It opens up in the right pane, the Opal
so
experience.
They've used a frame, an HTML frame.
I think it's an iframe.
It's an iframe.
Yeah. And so you can ask it to it's a vibe coding app. You ask it what to do. So what I did was I wasn't sure what kind of platforms I could build stuff for.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I put in was what platform can you make apps for? So it started thinking, and I expanded the little thing to view the train of thought. And the prompt that it turned that into was combine the generated text about app development platforms into a static HTML web page to display to the user. So it built me an app to show me what apps it could build. I thought this was the craziest interpretation of what I asked.
What you asked.
Yeah.
Ever. That is funny.
Yeah.
It's like, I only know how to build things. So let's build a thing to show them what I can build.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I did.
Wow.
I did go a little bit further down that app building rabbit hole. I got way too ambitious.
Okay.
And I said, build me a J2ME emulator that will run a .jar file in browser.
Okay.
It's totally impossible.
Yeah.
It's just totally impossible. And it thought hard. It thought for a long time. It gave me an interface to upload a file. I thought, there's no way this is gonna work. It didn't work.
Okay.
And then it explained. No, it didn't work at all. It said, if you want, I can make you an interface that looks like a phone and there's some basic information about the jar file that I could display for you. It'll look like the start of the application, but it won't actually work.
Yeah.
Fine. So I put in another prompt. I said, I want you to build me an app that I can drop a image of a piece of furniture, like this table that you've made, and you will explode it into its parts and give me instructions on how to build this piece of furniture. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I started with, and then where I ended up. So here's the stool that I gave it.
Yes.
And here's what it returned.
Wow.
There's parts of it that feel like
this could be instructions.
It almost got it. But then there's these pieces on the base that I'm just not sure about. There's screws that
don't
might
go there.
I'm not really sure. But it did give me some instructions on how to assemble this chair. So maybe that's going to be another episode, actually, is that we make exploded views of furniture and then build what Gemini suggests. And actually, I did try this in Gemini. And so I put a different piece of furniture in and asked it to give me an exploded view. So this is actually what my little app produced.
Interesting.
My gem.
Yeah.
A few extra seats in there.
I was gonna say, did it also include an extra coffee table?
Yeah, and it removed the back of the couch.
Yeah,
so
like
the cushions would just fall through.
Well, in the image, there's no back either.
If you can't see it, doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
And then here's what Gemini produced. Actually, quite good.
Quite good.
That's almost exactly what you would need. Yeah. Grok.
That is impressive, actually.
Here's what Grok did. One extra armrest.
Yeah, there's an extra
armrest. Rods. They did really focus on screws. They have screws going through the pillows. So you screw the pillows into the pillows.
Not the comfiest of couches or of seats.
Well, there's no bottom cushion in this one.
But there are frames which I find interesting. Like there's support systems for the pillows and for the bottom seat cushions, whereas the other ones don't have that. So it's, you know what I mean?
Well, except Gemini does.
Yeah, right.
ChatGPT produced this guy.
Okay.
Not bad.
This is an interesting analysis.
Not bad. A couple extra legs in there.
This is,
the whole back of the chair is is stuck to the cushions. And then, of course,
built into the cushions.
This was Claude. I love you, Claude,
But
for just making the most technical 2-dimensional drawing of an exploded view of a couch that you could possibly do. Nobody would ever draw an exploded view of a couch like this.
No.
But
Claude
you know
did.
what, Claude, you're great at workflows, and that looks like what you've done.
Workflow. Yeah, it's more like a do it this way than like do this first.
Insert cushion 1 into cushion 2.
That's the best.
Perplexity had a perplexing solution. There's several bases. There are 3 bases to this chair. There are 6 armrests.
Ultra supportive chair.
Yeah,
no backrest.
No back. 6 armrests, though. Great for the squid family.
Dude, that's a fun experiment. We got to do that more. Like, and then we should do the best 2 models, build us, the explosion of a chair, and then we try to build the thing that tells us to build.
Yeah. So far we've established that we're gonna have a cooking show and a furniture building show. So if you're interested in seeing those, now is the time to go ahead and hit subscribe, hit like, give us a comment, tell us which model of that couch we should start with, or the stool. Maybe please say the stool. It seems a lot easier than the couches, the 6 armrest couches.
It does have 2 sections. You got to nest on top of each other.
That's fine.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Man, that's funny. Last week, OpenAI released GPT 5.2 Codex, and they call it the most advanced agentic coding model for professional software engineering and defensive cybersecurity. So some of you may have heard, if you're doing development or building software online, that there was a huge vulnerability that was revealed in React. And I think it was like a series of React releases in the 19 range that were affected, basically allowing for external code injection to happen. So really, really bad flaw. And so what they revealed, though, was that it was a security analyst, a white hat hacker, who was using GPT 5.1 to discover the failure. And so I think in light of that, they released 5.2 with like, hey, by the way, really good for developing and discovering any kind of vectors for attack in your software. So I find it fascinating that they've taken this tack to say like, hey, use our agentic coders for this kind of security stuff. But they do warn in their release that there's obviously 2 sides to that coin, right? It's like this same tool that we're saying is good at defending against cybersecurity attacks is also a tool that could be used to create very impactful cybersecurity attacks. So, and the cool thing about what they have done is they divulge that. They're not just saying, hey, our tool is going to be great against cybersecurity and here's a marketing ploy and get it and use it right away. They're very actively stating this can be used nefariously, and but we're releasing it because like we want people to be able to defend against it. And there is a very large community of white hat hackers out there, and they don't get talked about on a lot of different news places, or you won't hear about them very often. Unless you are in cybersecurity, you really don't know that this stuff kind of exists. But there are good guys and there are bad guys. And the good guys are generally highly intelligent individuals who've spent their time trying to defend vulnerable software against attack. That's what they do full time, and they get paid very well to do this. I have a few friends who are in this field, and it's fascinating. A few of them are some of the world's like leading puzzle breakers, and it's just, anyways, my hat is tipped to those white hat hackers who spend the time trying to find vulnerabilities in the software that we use daily to protect, our bank accounts and all that kind of stuff.
And that is kind of the interesting advantage and disadvantage of open source software too, right? Things like WordPress, where the vulnerabilities of it are there for many people to find and to expose. And hopefully the good guys expose it so that a patch can be made before the bad guys exploit it.
Exactly.
That's the idea.
That's the whole game. Yeah.
And really what's happening with 5.2 there is not that it's not like it's creating a hole. The hole is already there.
Yeah.
It's finding the hole.
Yep.
Somebody is going to find the hole first, and they're either going to be somebody that wants to exploit it and not talk about it, or they're going to be somebody that does talk about it and helps you fix it.
Yeah.
And so being able to find those flaws pre-deployment is the key, right? It's
so
not
valuable.
Put it out there so that 5.2 can find it in the wild.
Yep.
It's use these tools to help find the holes and opportunities for exploitation, but before deployment.
So it ties really nicely into the Linux Foundation stuff you were talking about earlier, which is like, these are shared standards. These are the ways we want to build software in the future. Here's how we're going to work. If there's no one addressing potential vulnerabilities for those tools, they will make it go out into millions of household usage or hardware or software of all kinds. And if it isn't battle tested, then there are a lot of people in danger. And it can be real danger. We don't like to talk about that stuff. I'm just talking about like,
it's getting really dark.
I'm just saying like our power grids, our transportation systems, these things run on software. So it's really good that we have people.
Thought recipes were a problem.
Yeah. It's really good that we have people who are working on that side of it. And it is driven by people. So an agent is not going to go out on its own and find the ethical flaw of a hole in a piece of banking software.
Yeah.
But someone who cares about other people will. So that's.
Yeah, and 2 weeks ago, I really ripped on ChatGPT 5.1.
You did.
Or just GPT 5.1, and OpenAI in general. I had a bit of a thing for OpenAI 2 weeks ago.
That was a good
go back and watch them if you didn't see them.
Yes.
I go over several of the big failures that got to me in just 1 week. Have you found that 5.2 has been an improvement at all over 5.1? Those two releases happened really close
For sure.
together as a result, perhaps, of this code red.
So as of the recording of this show, it was released yesterday. So I've had almost zero time to play with or notice any difference between the two. And I'm doing a lot of coding these days, or I should say the agents are doing a lot of coding for me these days. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I notice a big difference.
Joel, it came out December 11th.
Codex 5.2? Or
GPT 5.2.
Codex just came out on December 18th, which was at the time of this recording. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So not GPT 5.2,
No.
the OG.
No, not the OG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, something that was talked about shortly after we recorded 2 weeks ago, there were rumors online about two new image generation models. One was called Chestnut, one was called Hazelnut. And in a lot of the arenas, like LM Arena, people were saying, this might be as good as Nano Banana. That was the rumors. And that, actually, those were facts. But the rumor was that this might be an OpenAI model that has been pushed out into the wild under a code name to see what people think of it. Turns out the rumors were correct. And out comes GPT Image 1.5 last week, which is now on a lot of the arenas outperforming Nano Banana.
Interesting.
But not quite reaching Nano Banana Pro.
Right.
So it's really, really interesting. I haven't had a chance to really do much head to head. I did produce an image actually of the dog holding the ball in the water, which we've used as a test before.
Yep.
I can give it to you to show here. And I thought it was pretty good. Some of the drips off his face, I don't know. Maybe if you showed me a picture of a real dog at this point pulling a bottle of the water,
that looks like a
fake dog. But I will say that the image that it produced was another golden retriever holding a yellow tennis ball.
Unbelievable.
If you just say dog getting ball from water, it's going to give you a golden retriever like every time. It's kind of nuts. I should pick a really small dog and a really big ball next time.
Yeah.
Chihuahua gets a basketball. Like,
It won't do it.
yeah, we'll see. So that's been part of their code red response, which so far has been kind of interesting. So one interesting thing, actually, let me try to get the actual quote here.
When we talk about this code red response, it's basically Sam Altman responding to Gemini 3 being released, everyone freaking out about it, and OpenAI staff through an internal memo being told, guys, we've got to get our asses in gear here because we're under attack effectively.
I'm trying to find the quote. He talks about how AGI is no longer really the thing they're working towards, because people want things like image editors. I want to find the actual quote here. Yeah, so far they've had a few kind of big releases since the Code Red alert, GPT 5.2 Codex, GPT Image 1.5.
Yep.
So I've been really surprised at the speed that they've put these last three pieces out.
For sure.
And they seem to be competing quite well with what's out there. They seem to be a pretty good response to Gemini 3.
Yeah, I think that they're obviously doing some damage control from the releases of Gemini 3 just having such a huge impact on the world of AI in such a short amount of time. Like Google, it felt like was catching up, but then they caught up and they were now surpassing OpenAI. And so I think they did have to have a response. And I think you're right too. It's like, so far, they seem to be doing really well with those responses. I'm really hoping when I dive into Codex that it is a robust coding engine on par with Gemini 3, because not only did Google, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but Google also released Gemini 3 Flash this past week.
Yes.
And Flash is so fast and so good and so affordable. It's just, Google's really
the speed of not just Gemini and not just OpenAI, but the speed that models are responding now is incredible.
Incredible, yeah.
You ask it for like some of the most complicated things, and it's just returning them instantly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing. Now another tangent to OpenAI, something that's been going on since 2023, is this lawsuit filed against OpenAI where the court was demanding that they turn over something like 120 million logs of usage in order to determine if training was done on materials illegally.
Right.
So something that was very prominent early last week, in places like Reddit and other forums, was that OpenAI was going to be giving up 20 million records.
Right.
And so people were kind of losing it a little bit over privacy, and like OpenAI is just giving up our data and giving up all this. And so there's kind of 4 points that I want to talk about with regards to that situation of them giving up these logs.
Yep.
One, they've been fighting it since 2023.
Right.
So OpenAI did not willingly give up anything.
Right.
I can't imagine how much they've spent to not give up any logs over the last 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Since it started. Second is they were originally pressed for 120 million logs.
Right.
And they fought to give only 10 million.
Right.
So they really were trying to scale it
kind of like
way back.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting to 20 million.
Right.
So 1/6 of what was originally sought is what they're going to give over. Third, the logs are not being analyzed for what people are doing. It's being analyzed for the response that ChatGPT is giving
Right.
to determine if it was trained on materials illegally.
Right. So we know that as users, that would be like the train of thought that you get to see when the AI is responding, when the model's responding.
Yeah. So it'll be looking at train of thought as well as the final output.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of panic over it. And I just like to me, again, if you watched the last episode, I'm not a huge fan of OpenAI. Not right now. But in this situation, they have worked actually to protect the privacy of users, and maybe their own butts.
And when you consider like on a daily basis, how many queries you think are being asked of ChatGPT on a daily basis? It's got to be in the hundreds of millions. It's got to be. So,
well, how many users are there? There's like 800 million users.
Exactly. So, like, we're talking about
it's gonna be in the billions. It's billions of requests.
Exactly. Small fraction of that being asked and requested of them, which may actually determine to show, or may actually determine that the train of thought doesn't actually get the training doesn't happen that way. You know what I mean? So there may be a benefit to users in allowing some of just this 20 million to make it to,
Yeah. Now I'm just going to just briefly touch on Microsoft and their AI goals rollback.
Yeah.
They've heavily scaled back some of their targets. I'm going to be talking about that on Wednesday. So make sure you're hitting subscribe right now and come back on Wednesday. I'm going to be talking about adoption of AI in corporations and other organizations and nonprofits, and what some of the common bottlenecks are. And along those lines, one great place to start is with our AI policy builder, which is available on brainmediaconsulting.com. We'll put a link somewhere.
Yeah, in the video, there'll be a link. It's also in the navigation of our website.
Top and bottom nav. It's super easy to find. And we've also done an AI readiness kind of assessment there as well. Both are free tools for you to use. You'll be sent an email as well as a PDF of the results, and you'll be able to take that to your board or your senior leadership and get started on the journey of AI adoption. So come back on Wednesday, and I'll talk about it more then.
They're super cool. All right. So Shopify's former head of core product will be leading app development at OpenAI with the goal, this was interesting, with the goal of turning ChatGPT into an operating system. The question being, what would an OS for a piece of hardware look like if from the ground up it was started from AI?
I love that.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting.
I love that. We've talked about it before, like getting operations to be managed a bit more by agents.
Exactly.
And we know, like 2 weeks ago, we talked about Amazon releasing their AWS agent to help you administrate servers and that sort of thing. So that's really cool. That's gonna be a really good one to watch.
I think that's going to be really cool, and it's cool that it's coming out of Shopify being Canadian and us being Canadian. It's kind of nice that now he's from New York, so it doesn't really count. But whatever, we'll take the win.
Wait, that feels more like a loss.
I know. I'm sorry.
Speaking of another area that the West has generally, North America has been kind of behind the rest of the world.
Okay.
Banking.
Yes.
So I remember visiting Estonia like 20 years ago, and a friend of mine had a stack of cash and checks and just stuck the handful in the machine. And I thought this was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. And then we got them in Canada like 5 years ago. It took we're way behind.
Yeah.
Kind of where other nations are when it comes to banking.
Yep.
And so in Malaysia, they've launched the first AI powered bank called Right Bank.
Okay.
Everything is AI powered. So not just your customer service and account sign up, all that.
Right.
But all of your transactions are handled through natural language. And investments are handled through AI. So you can just say to the bank, transfer money here, pay this bill, how much do I owe there? All natural language, and it just
does it.
Just does it. And the whole thing is AI powered. It's actually super, super cool. It's called Right Bank. There are a bunch of kind of things around security and all that they've incorporated,
Right.
and safeguards for their investing. They have lending features that are built by AI to help determine what they should be lending
out.
Now, probably a lot of that is AI powered now, anyways.
Right. Yep.
But it's interesting that they've removed a layer between the consumer and the technology.
Yeah.
The bank really isn't sitting there; they're just giving you access to the technology.
It's so true that you say like that in Canada, our banks, like we have a relatively small number of very large banks in Canada that do most of the business for Canadians. And it doesn't make for the most competitive environment. So they're not really fighting to be the best for their customers. But I have a number of businesses in the US, and I use one in particular, a bank. I won't mention them because I don't want people to know what bank I'm using in the US. But their app for banking is so much better than any of the Canadian stuff that I've ever used. It reminds me of receipts I have to upload for my business. It automatically categorizes everything. It tells me, by the way, your credit limit just went up on your credit card that's associated with this bank account because you're holding more money. Like it just is so much better than anything we have in Canada. And I just thought to myself, man, we really have to step it up. We need to step it up in Canada.
There just doesn't seem to be the desire to innovate.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't see the need to innovate. Everybody's just kind of, it's all right.
We got all their money.
Then that's a Canadian thing too. It's just like, this is good enough.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, exactly. So let's switch gears a little bit. 1,000 AI agents were left to build their own village in Minecraft. And some crazy things started happening. So researchers from this company in the UK basically put 1,000 agents to work inside of Minecraft. And Minecraft's an open world. There's a trading system. You can farm things. There's what they found was that certain agents would become like spiritual guides. Certain agents would become economists and business leaders. Certain agents would ask others to follow them, and they'd become leaders. Certain agents would be followers of those leaders. And there's this complex kind of ecosystem of culture that was being built.
Wow.
What they had to do along the way is guide them when they started spinning out of control. So there would be these recursive patterns that certain agents would go into and they just couldn't get out of. And so they built some frameworks to kind of prevent those types of things from happening. And then they used this kind of cultural model to train very highly effective long context window agents to be able to do work over very long periods of time, but in a very specialized way. So the company that did this prototyping for these agents eventually turned this concept into highly specialized agents that could do work for days and days and days.
The company's called Fundamental Research Labs. It was known at the time that they released these as Altera AI.
There you go. Okay. So I read this article. I was like, this is pretty fascinating. So CATL, the world's largest battery manufacturer, beats Tesla to humanoid robots matching skilled worker performance in mass EV battery production. So they have these robots. They're kind of like wheel mobile robots, but with human torsos and 2 arms. And they're sitting on battery manufacturing lines doing very complex wiring, and they've been doing it now for a little while. Supposedly now they're stating that those robots are as effective, if not more effective, than humans in the same jobs.
Wow. And that's a Chinese manufacturer, right?
Chinese manufacturer,
wow. Do you know how many they've deployed at this point?
I don't know how many they've deployed. The article doesn't say, or at least I didn't read through deep enough to find out. But it does say that they're now bragging that they beat Tesla to their own game of bringing robots into factories to create their batteries. And they kind of even in the article kind of made fun of the fact that, so Tesla's robots can put a bunch of cells into a container and they call that work. But like our robots are actually human level efficiency at doing things on a production line.
Yeah. So the robots are made by Spirit AI. They're the Xiaomo robots.
Xiaomo.
And they are powered by the cattle batteries, which is fitting.
So fun.
Yeah, very cool. They look good. It's interesting when some manufacturers will choose to use those wheeled bases.
Yeah, for sure.
Versus legs.
Yep.
I think the wheeled bases make a lot more sense.
I agree. Most factory floors are flat. It's not like people are being asked to move up and down stairs very often.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Much faster to get around.
For sure.
Not as cool looking, maybe.
I mean,
in a factory, it makes a lot of sense.
You know, there are some robots that look like they can run pretty fast. I saw the G2, some of the G2 demos that this guy I follow on YouTube has. He has them like running full tilt, and you're like, how are these robots so agile? You know, so anyways. The form factor, I think, just matters. There is extra sensors that certain factory and warehouse robots have that are kind of embedded into the ground, which help just determine where they're located geospatially, so that there's extra factors, you know, when it comes to putting robots into a factory that you can eliminate some of the errors. So,
just a second. Just got to brush the dust off my Firefox browser here.
Why, Dave?
So Mozilla's new CEO has announced that they're going to be modifying the Firefox browser to become an agentic AI-powered browser.
Didn't see that coming.
And right on time, too, just after everybody else has already done it. Way to go, Firefox, coming back into being relevant again. The only people that I know that use Firefox are people that need to get around IT's limitations on what they can do in Chrome or Edge. And so they use Firefox to just get around it. That's the only people I know. Now it's built on Chromium now, so like rendering used to be a pain in the butt. You just couldn't use it for development because like such a small percentage of people were actually using it.
I think the killer feature of Firefox, if I remember correctly, is user agent switching. It's like, oh, I need this to work like Edge so that I can test the site. I need this to look like Google's Chrome to test the site. You know what I mean? Like kind of stuff, so.
I remember back in the day too. There were websites that you could submit your URL to, and it would send it off to a farm of computers. That would render the site in like IE 5.5.
All the different browsers.
And it would just render it all and return a pack of PNGs of how it looked. Remember that?
Yes.
I
used to test like that all the time.
Thank goodness you don't have to do that anymore.
Thank goodness.
IBM, speaking of people that are actually doing some cutting edge stuff, they've unveiled a breakthrough analog AI chip. So, it's far more efficient with being similar accuracy as the traditional digital AI hardware. The analog approach embeds AI compute directly within memory structures. So one of the biggest bottlenecks in processing is taking stuff from memory, processing it, putting it back. And here it's all happening within the memory.
Wow.
Which is super cool. There's huge power efficiency gains. There's speed gains. And this is just another one of these pieces that maybe it's not going to go anywhere. Like the Microsoft light powered processor, they might revolutionize the world. They might be like, that was a really cool project they did, but didn't make any sense to roll out. But it is looking super, super cool. IBM published a paper in Nature Electronics talking about how the analog systems can compete in deep learning systems with comparable accuracy. It's super interesting. We should throw a link in the.
I wonder if there's also a power efficiency gain just using an analog process rather than having to move data around as much.
Right? Yeah, for sure. So it's similar to the light processor in that it uses fluctuations in power to send signals as opposed to ones and zeros.
Interesting.
So it's not just on, off, on, off, on, off. It's fluctuations.
Interesting.
And that makes it more efficient and faster.
Well, on being more efficient and faster, that actually, this segue will not work at all. But I'll say that YouTube is taking down deep fake trailers for movies that are not real.
Oh, those are my favorite.
I know. It's like Spider-Man 9.
Most of them are not the most I don't know.
There's a bunch of them. Like, I'm sure you can still find them on other channels, but there were some channels that were dedicated to making like trailers for the next release of like Iron Man 7.
Yeah, well, a lot of them were like mashups from
exactly
popular cultural references and really funny
so
stuff.
YouTube's decided no, and these are multi-million subscriber channels, very right. So YouTube's basically said, no, you're not allowed to deep fake, use AI to kind of tell people that there's movies coming out that aren't actually coming out.
Probably getting a lot of pressure from studios.
I'm imagining
too, right? It's not just that YouTube wants to do what's good for the entertainment world, but they're probably getting threatened.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
If you don't take down this Spider-Man 47, Spider-Man meets Pinocchio, like you I don't know.
I really want that mashup.
Yeah.
No one knew I needed this as bad as Spider-Man Pinocchio mashup.
Now, kind of on the flip side of that, Walt Disney has signed a $1 billion investment deal with OpenAI. They're going to be what are they getting out of it? So they're investing $1 billion in OpenAI. They're receiving warrants for additional equity, making it a major OpenAI shareholder. So they're actually going to be like a major shareholder in OpenAI. Disney. That's amazing.
Which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about, like, I'm thinking to our Cameo experiences, yours and mine, in like being able to just like create all of these crazy experiences and storylines and weird things, and it just works. Like, it doesn't work perfectly, but it does work from an inspiration level to just like, man, I can't believe I can make myself look like a little dwarf in the
but that's an ezy one for it to do. Think of one that's harder for it.
Yeah, man, it's amazing that you make me look so strong,
like a gentleman. So in addition to this, they are going to become a customer of OpenAI using their APIs and ChatGPT tools for internal development. It includes.
Who isn't?
So the integration is mainly through Sora.
Okay.
Sora will be able to generate user-prompted social videos and images for over 200 licensed characters from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars. It includes characters, costumes, props, vehicles, and environments. That's wild. So it's coming early 2026.
Wow. I will be using that.
Oh, yeah. So just as we remove all the fake trailers,
yes,
we're on the other side of it. It's like some of the biggest brands
starring in these next 3 movies.
Yeah. It's a girl. I can't wait. I tried to make. I didn't realize it was coming out until 2026. So I threw it into Sora. I said, "Make me a video." David plays with his Woody. And I sent it to Joel. It was disappointing.
I didn't open it, just for the record.
It was disappointing.
I would not. I can't.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was
also kind of expected, but whatever.
Yeah. So it's a really cool opportunity if you're a content creator, if you're creating characters. It's a cool opportunity to explore how you can get your content into platforms like Sora, and become famous that way. There's one more thing I want to mention. Selected user-generated AI clips may be curated and featured on Disney+.
Wow.
You make something ridiculous enough,
then maybe you make it onto Disney+.
You can be in somebody's living room.
Oh, man, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The integration of like content into streaming platforms like that. That's fascinating.
DoorDash has launched a social app called Zesty.
Nice.
And it's a social media app. So it's about connecting with people and
foodies.
Yeah, foodies, reviews, all this sort of thing. But it uses conversational AI to find personalized dining experiences.
Oh, interesting.
So you say, what do you feel like? Whatever. Oh, pizza? Nah.
Right.
Sushi? Nah. Anyways, you can have conversations with it, and it'll help you and your
Do you have to be
loved ones figure
what
out
you're talking to it?
No, you don't have to be. That's optional.
Okay.
Wait, let me see. Optional. Yeah. So you could work through it with your partner. What you're gonna eat. You got a mediator.
Yeah.
To help you figure out what do you feel like?
Yeah, totally.
What do you feel like? And you can eventually get to the right spot. It aggregates information from DoorDash itself, Google Maps, TikTok, and some other sites. It doesn't replace the food ordering part of DoorDash.
Okay.
It's more about going out for an experience.
Is it integrated into DoorDash or is it a different app?
It's a different app called Zesty.
Okay. So there's no confusing, like you're in DoorDash and you're like, man, I don't know what to do. And it just responds like, oh, you should do this. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's really smart. Like niche-based social networking using AI, like I think that's going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would you download an app called Zesty just to figure out where you're going to go eat, though?
No, that's not what I would do it for. I would do it so that I could connect my foodie friends together so that we could see content about food and then maybe decide one day, oh man, we should go to that thing. Like I think it's more about the idea of gathering around common. I already do this, honestly. When I find something I really want to eat, I'll send a DM to Michelle and be like, oh, we should try this place out because it's
Michelle's his wife.
Yeah. So yeah. So we kind of do it on Instagram already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would say the next time we're going to talk so much about food, we shouldn't record right before lunch. I'm very hungry, so maybe let's wrap it. Let's wrap it up. If you watch up till now, make sure you subscribe, make sure you talk. Just tell us your favorite food. We'll maybe go and get it for lunch.
Leave a favorite food in the comments.
Yeah.
Since nothing else that we have done has made you comment.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you to Generosity X for sponsoring this half of the season. We're actually going to have Matt Hussey, the founder, on one of these episodes to talk about AI and how it's changing fundraising.
Excited about that. That's going to be cool.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. Tagline.